Hi everyone, and welcome to my May TBR. So excited. May is one of my favorite months. It's like starting to get warm outside and sunny. I'm still in quarantine, but that's okay. I have plenty of books to keep me company, so I'm just gonna jump right into what I'm reading. So first, I'm really excited about this one, The Astonishing Color of After by Emily R.X. Pan. And this book is a debut novel. It was released in 2018 and it is, I believe, a contemporary young adult. So this book is about a young girl who loses her mother to suicide. And I believe she travels to her mother's homeland of Taiwan. And if I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at my notes. But anyway, she travels to Taiwan to stay with her grandparents and get to know about her mom a little bit more. And she's looking for her mom, who she believes transformed into a bird. So I'm really excited about this one. For this prompt, all these books are focused on the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge as always. This one covers the prompt, a book with an interesting title. I just love the colors and the way that the cover looks, and The Astonishing Color of After is really interesting because I'm like, well, what does all that mean? So I'm excited to get this one going. This one is a little over 400 pages, but it's cool. The font's pretty big, which is nice. Next on my TBR, I have a book that covers the prompt for a Pop Sugar, a fiction or non-fiction book about a world leader. This one, I didn't know who to read about. I was stuck between Malcolm X and Michelle Obama. I've been wanting to read the autobiography of Malcolm X for a while, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little intimidated to read that. And then I wanted to read Becoming by Michelle Obama, and I was also intimidated to read that because I'm like, oh my god, I don't read memoirs or autobiographies because I don't really like nonfiction. I can't really get into it. But I was told, well, I wasn't told. I was watching another booktube video, and the reader, she said that with the audiobook, Michelle Obama narrates her book. I was like, oh my god, that must be amazing. Like, she's gonna be talking to me about her life in my ears while I read her book. Like, I thought that was so cool. So I chose Becoming. So excited to read this. It was maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I was looking online to find a book written by Mrs. Obama so I can get a little bit more, like learn a little bit more about her. I had already read or partially read part of Barack Obama's autobiography memoir, and there wasn't one. No one wrote one about her. She hadn't written one, so I was a little disappointed. So when this came out a couple of years ago in 2018, I was so excited. I was like, yes, I get to read more about Michelle Obama. Like, she's such a powerhouse and so just inspirational, and I'm excited to get to learn more about her and read more about her. I was talking to my grandma about this book, and I asked her if she read it, and she said, I tried to read it, but as I was reading it, I realized I already knew everything about Mrs. Obama, so it was pointless. So she didn't read it, but I don't really know anything, so I'm excited to get this one going. And it's so nice. There's pictures. Let me see if I can show a couple pictures. Yeah. Look, how amazing is that? Like, they're beautiful photos, and I'm excited to see. Oh look, it is. They're so beautiful. And I saw yesterday, so I was scrolling through Instagram, Netflix is producing a whole like docu-series based off the book and her life and everything. So I gotta read this before that because I have no idea when it comes out. But I know it's coming, so I gotta hurry up and get this one done. So excited. I'm actually gonna read this one pretty soon because I rented the audiobook on Overdrive, which, if you don't know, Overdrive and Libby, most people use Libby. I heard of Overdrive first. Overdrive came first and then Libby came, so I just stick with Overdrive. But anyway, it's this app that you can use if you have a library card, you can connect to your library and borrow materials for free. You can borrow ebooks, audiobooks, magazines, all for free. And you basically, when you go to a library, you can borrow the item for a certain number of days. So I only have this on audiobook for another 2 weeks, 14 days, I think. So I have to hop on this one really quickly. And I borrowed another book, which I'll get to in a second. But Becoming by Michelle Obama is my second pick for the month. Next, I have been wanting to read this author for a while. I couldn't really try to figure out how to fit her into my Pop Sugar reading challenge because the book I wanted to read, it didn't really seem to fit any of the prompts, but I kind of found one that's real easy. Like a lot of the books that I have already read could fit with this category, but I was like, no, I want this one to be for this category. So the category is to read a book with a 4-star rating on Goodreads. So I'm reading Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler, and I'm so excited. I read Kindred when I was in college a few years ago, and it's so good. I think I connected with Kindred so much because I don't know, it's just like I've never read, or I hadn't at the time read a book with a Black main character, and it's like this sci-fi-ish world, which is really sad that it took me until college to read a book like that, but I did, and I fell in love with Octavia Butler, and I'm like, oh my god, give me more. So I'm excited. I'm gonna read this. This book is about this girl. Her name is Laura, and it's the year 2020, and there's this whole environmental pandemic going on in the world, and she lives in LA, and I think it's like and she lives in a gated community, and I think the problem is that people are dying, and she feels like it's her responsibility to save the people in Los Angeles. I think that's what it's about. I'm not entirely sure. I just know I want to get to this as soon as possible, so I have to finish Becoming, and I have to finish the next book that I'm going to talk about so I can just jump on this one, and I'm so excited to get this one started. I think it's a little over 300 pages, so it won't take me too long. Hopefully, fingers crossed. It won't take me too long, but yeah, this is book number 3. So my next book covers a prompt, a book that won an award in 2019. And as I was reading the list, because I didn't know which books had won awards in 2019, as I was reading a bunch of lists, like, you know, on Google and everything, I was like, none of these really sound good. It's nothing I want to read. And this book actually was released in 2018, and it won a bunch of awards in 2018. So I had to like scramble to try to find an award that it won in 2019, and it won, I'm looking at my notes, the Golden Light Award for YA Fiction in 2019. I'm like, yes, this covers the prompt, I get to read it. So I'm going to read The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo, and beyond it even like winning an award in 2019, it's just such a loved book. I was really hesitant to read it because I'm like, oh my god, it's written in verse. I don't really dig poetry like that. I don't read poetry. To me, there's so many layers to it. You have to dig so deeply into reading poetry in order to understand what the writer is trying to tell you, and it's just too much work. But I was like, you know what, let me read this, because everyone keeps talking about Elizabeth Acevedo, everyone keeps talking about The Poet X. Look at these awards. I actually started reading it. I had to stop myself. I read the first part. I had to stop myself from finishing it, because if I finished it before I recorded this video, it wouldn't be like a TBR, it would be more of a review, and I didn't want to do that yet. So I read the first part, like I said, and it's really good. I'm also listening to the audiobook on overdrive for this book, because Elizabeth Acevedo reads this like a slam poetry session, and she's reading it and it's like on beat, and this book is funny. I did not expect for it to be so funny, but as I'm listening and I'm reading along, I find myself laughing at certain parts. And Xiomara, the main character, she is just, does she remind me of myself? Yeah, because she's kind of in like, she's this girl, she's in high school, she's trying to figure herself out, and she's considering like, you know, religion, and she's a twin, so she's thinking about her twin brother and what her parents mean to her and how this all connects to make her who she is. The one thing that's kind of like, I find myself in Xiomara is like how weird we were with guys. Like I was really awkward and scared, and she's really awkward and scared and shy, and so like I relate to her that way. But I'm so excited to finish this. I'm honestly probably going to finish this today. The audiobook is not long. I think it's like 3 hours, and that's because like I said, the book is written in verse, so it's not, you see, it's not, there's a whole page. If this was a regular novel, it would just be line after line. No, this is like 4 lines and then a blank page, so this will be really easy to get through. The only other book that was written in verse I have ever read was For Colored Girls Who Consider Suicide When a Rainbow Isn't Enough. I read this maybe in high school because I wanted to read it, and I think around that time the movie was coming out and I wanted to see the movie, and I loved the book. I loved the movie, so I was like, you know what, this is probably, the Poedex is probably going to be just as good, and it's probably going to be another one of my favorite reads. So I included it, and it's getting to that point. I haven't finished it yet, so I don't know if it's a favorite, but it is up there, and I'm excited to finish it. I'm probably just going to go ahead and finish it as soon as I'm done recording this video. Okay, so my last, well actually, yeah, those are my 4 books that cover the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge. I'm so excited. Moving right along with my Pop Sugar Reading Challenge. I'm supposed to read, I think, a total of 56 books are on that list or something like that. And I haven't really made it in. I think I've read maybe 10 completely. I don't count books. Like, if I find a book that fits a prompt and I get that book, but if I don't finish the book, I don't count that as like me completing the prompt. Like, I have to find another book for me to complete that prompt. So I've technically only read maybe 10. I gotta count them and see. So that means I have like 46 more to go. And it's May. But I slipped a little bit in April. April is not one of my best reading months. There are 2 books that I need to finish. The first one is, I don't have it with me, it's somewhere in my room and I don't feel like getting it. The first book is Homegoing by Yagi Yasi. I'm still reading it. I think I have another 100 pages. I'm almost done with that. As soon as I'm done, I want to do a review because I have opinions about it. And I also said in April that I was going to read 1984 by George Orwell. Never touched the book the whole month of April, so I gotta find somewhere to read this. I'll probably read it towards the end of the month. So this month I am starting this, I guess this journey, I want to call it. I love reading big books. I love huge text. Like those brick books, oh my god, they make me so happy. Like, I don't know a lot of readers who just like books that are over like 400 or 500 pages, but you know what, now I am one of those people. So I am actually starting this thing. It's called, the name of my YouTube page is The Book Curator, but I'm starting this like reading blog online, and it's called The Big Book Curator, where I read books that are over 400 pages, and I do it section by section. So anyone who's like intimidated to read a large book, you can like read my, it's not really a review, it's more like read my read along as I read the book, section by section, or whatever the sections are that I choose. I got this idea actually, if anyone has ever used SparkNotes online. I got this idea from SparkNotes. They did this, one of the writers, he did this with the Twilight series, and it was the funniest thing. He was reading Twilight book by book, and he separated each book into sections. And as he was reading each section, he would like write about what he was thinking as he was reading, what was going on during the book, and everything. And I thought it was hilarious, and it was so enjoyable to read. So I'm hoping I can kind of do the same thing with the bigbookcurator.com. So I'm gonna link that in the description box, and I'm really excited to get it started. So for this month, I'm doing a different book every month. This month, I'm going to do Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. And this one is a little intimidating because it is a satire. I liked satire in high school, and then something happened, and then I didn't like satire. But I'm gonna give this one a chance. Catch-22 is so loved. I actually Googled how to read. Whenever I get a large book or an intimidating book, in my opinion, I'll go online and I'll look to see the best way to read that book. And so one of the posts I saw was on Goodreads, and it was like, oh, I'm reading Catch-22, and I'm in by like 20 pages or something that the person said, and they're like, I don't know if it's worth it for me to keep going. And all the reviewers, all these people, all the commenters, they were just like, keep going, it's such a good book, it's one of my favorite books. And then what kind of scared me, because I'm worried this is gonna happen to me, they're like, look, if you don't like it by page 20, then stop reading. And I'm like, oh my god. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited to do this. So this book, I'm gonna look at my notes because I don't know completely, and I want to make sure I get this right. So, Catch 22 is set during World War II on the island of Pianosa, which is in Italy. The main character, John, he is in the army, and the army keeps increasing the missions that they go into, and Joseph and his team are really tired. So the whole Catch 22 part of the book is, I'm gonna read it. So a man is considered insane if he willingly continues to fly dangerous combat missions. But if he makes a formal request to be removed from duty, he's proven sane and therefore ineligible to be relieved. So it's like, okay, so the army has me flying all these missions and I'm tired, it's a lot, it's dangerous, I'm scared, I just want to go home. So if I make a request, I'm considered sane, but it's insane for me to have to keep flying these missions. So it's like, I don't know what he's gonna do. There's a show on Hulu that I didn't want to watch because I've had this book for a while and I've been wanting to read the book. So I didn't want to watch the show because then I was gonna lose interest in reading the book. So I'm gonna read it now. And maybe I'll even, like, after all this is done, I'll do like a comparison between the book and the show. That might be kind of fun. I don't know. So with each big book that I read every month, I'm going to do a 24-hour reading vlog. And I've seen these on YouTube. So basically what happens is the booktuber will sit and read a book, not like a full 24 hours, like I'm a human being, I have to sleep and eat. But you set like a whole day where you just read the book. And I'm hoping to do that because if I do it, then that means I'll get a huge chunk of the book done in a day instead of me like moving rather slowly into reading the book. I can get like, out of the 400 and whatever pages in this book, I can get maybe 300 done in 24 hours. I'm excited for the bigbigcurator.com. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'll probably start reading this towards maybe when I'm done with Becoming and the Poet X, since I have those on audiobook and are going to expire soon. I want to get them done as quickly as I can, and I'll jump into this one and then I'll finish all my other reading. So that's it for May. May is going to be a lot of fun. May's going to be a lot of reading. I have 7 books I have to complete, and I'm going to do a new project, and I'm excited about the new project. And 2 of the books are from April that I have to finish this month, so there's a lot going on. So I'm just going to end it here because I have to get started. And I want to thank you all so much for your support and for watching. Make sure that you tell your friends to watch and support as well. That's all I have. So I'll catch y'all in a few weeks when I read Catch 22. And remember to follow the link, okay? Talk to y'all later. Bye.